A lot of firsts in today's review. Well, actually just two.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another GingerRunner.com review. And as I mentioned, yes, there are some firsts today. I am reviewing my very first road shoe from Nike. In all the years I've been doing reviews, I can't believe it's taken me this long to do it. Many years ago, I had a lot of problems with a lot of their road shoes, but due to popular demand, I decided to bring some into my rotation, and I'm fairly happy that I did, finally. So I have you to thank, wonderful viewers. And today, I am reviewing the Nike Zoom Pegasus 32. That's a lot of versions. So not only is it my first Nike road shoe, but it's my first Pegasus. Yeah, it took 32 versions for me to actually get my feet into them. 32
version to actually get my feet into them.
Version 32 is supposedly a lot like version 31, except that the upper is completely different. The midsole and outsole are identical. That being said, I was pleasantly surprised by the experience in this shoe. I do have a couple of qualms with them. Gathered my thoughts, picked apart the shoe, figured out what I liked and disliked, and think it's about time I tell you what I think about the Nike Pegasus 32. Let's start with things that I like, shall we? Flexible. I didn't expect it from the shoe, but the forefoot is surprisingly nimble, as is the upper. The Nike engineered mesh stretches with your foot, even accommodates a bit wider feet as well, which I appreciate, but I was happy to see so much flexibility in a shoe that I expected to be very stiff and uncomfortable.
32 version.
Durability. The outsole on this shoe is surprisingly durable. That outsole rubber is holding up quite well. Even after a ton of good road miles, I still have my little nubs on the bottom here, as well as texture throughout. Even the upper is holding up really well, holding its color, holding its shape, no busted seams. That is something I was very excited to see out of a Nike road shoe. The upper, the engineered mesh is awesome. The Flywire technology, I've reviewed it in other shoes and I really do like it. I think it holds the midfoot and forefoot fairly well, keeps your foot nice and locked down. But really, I'm just a big fan of this mesh. It's not super thick like other shoes I've recently reviewed, though it is multi-layers thick, so it can get a bit hot. Regardless, I'm liking the look, I'm liking the durability of it, I'm liking the flexibility of it. I like the upper. Responsive midsole. The Cushlon material that Nike is using is fun. Not only is it cushioned, especially in this shoe with a higher stack height, but it's also responsive. So when you get up there in your mid and forefoot and feel the springiness, it's not soaking up all your weight, causing a sluggish toe off. It's actually pretty snappy while still retaining comfort, at least from the midfoot up, and I'll get to that in a second. I think it's time we talk about things that I dislike about the Zoom Pegasus 32. Weight. The shoe is actually pretty darn heavy, 10.8 ounces in a size 11 men's. That's pretty hefty, and I know where a lot of that weight is coming from, but that's the outsole material. It's thicker because it's all over the place, and it's very dense. There's a ton of weight in there, plus the multi-layered upper just contributes to overall weight. The drop, and this is probably the biggest dislike I had with the shoe, the 10mm drop in some shoes works out fine. In the Pegasus 32, I felt it from the very first run, and it hasn't broken in at all. I consider myself a primarily midfoot to forefoot striker, but man, I feel like my heels are constantly dragging in this shoe. The thick outsole rubber, the stiffened heel counter, all of it contributes to a higher heel weight as well. The shoe feels a bit off balance, doesn't necessarily cater to a midfoot to forefoot striker. Definitely when you get up to speed, you lose some of that sensation back here, but overall in my experience as a day-to-day trainer, I like something with a bit lower stack height. Outsole rigidity. If you look at the outsole here, especially from the heel, it's all one piece and it doesn't flex very well. In addition, it blocks that Nike Zoom air pocket in there, so you're losing a lot of the flexibility, a lot of the cushion there in the heel, which I think contributed to a lot of my heel issues with the shoe feeling like it's dragging and there's not a lot of life there in the heel. I mean, I love what's going on from here forward, but everything there back just became a problem for me in the long run. But hey, I like the green. And that's it for dislikes. I will continue to run in the shoe from time to time overall, especially working on speed or doing interval training or anything like that with my day-to-day training. But as a staying steady, going long sort of runner, may not be my first choice. And this is where I'm super curious what you guys have to say about the Zoom Pegasus 32. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the shoe. I know many of you have run in this or are currently running in it. And now let's get on with the points. Quality, I think Nike's doing something good here. I'm having no quality issues as of yet, so I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. Comfort, I think this is kind of where my biggest dislikes falls. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. Price, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 because yes, it was listed at $110, which I think is pretty expensive. I am gonna give it 4 out of 5 because I've seen it on sale for much less than that. And I'm always a big fan of a sale. I do not give it 5 out of 5 with the sale price because it may not be the shoe that I go to all the time regardless of price. But for looks, I'm giving it 5 out of 5. Not only do I like this color, but I also like the new cyan? Teal? turquoise? Blue-ish color, as well as the other color versions. I think it's a good looking shoe. That brings a grand total to 16 out of 20. A pretty good score for a shoe that I think is also pretty good, but I've enjoyed it on certain runs and especially enjoyed it casually. I think it's a good looking casual shoe as well. That's it for the review of the Zoom Pegasus 32. So again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this shoe if you have run in it. And don't forget, I've partnered up with Running Warehouse. So click the link in the description and use the coupon code down there and you can get 10% off a large selection of items. Great way to save some bucks on some good gear. And if you like this review, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/thegingerrunner. I'm across all social networks on Twitter, @thegingerrunner, Facebook, facebook.com/thegingerrunner. On Instagram, it's @EthanNewberry, and of course, gingerrunner.com. Live shows right here every single Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And of course, if you want to join Patreon crew and help make this whole channel happen, go to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. That's it. We'll see you guys next week. I hope you're getting out there training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. We'll Pegasus you later. What?